Hey everybody, this is going to be the start of a new series called Elder Moments here on the Whole Armor Ministries channel. And what I'm seeking to do throughout this series is to prove that the word pastor, bishop, and elder are not synonymous terms. There's a lot of people in the Baptist movement specifically, but in other movements as well, that believe that the word bishop, pastor, and elder are all used interchangeably. Now, I'm going to prove from the Bible that that is not true. Now, I do believe that a bishop should be an elder, but that not every elder is necessarily a bishop. And I believe that you can be a pastor without being a bishop or an elder at all. But I'm going to expound more on the word pastor maybe in the next video. So we're going to just start here in 1 Timothy 5. It says, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father." Now, it ends there with a semicolon, and then it goes on for the rest of verse 1 and then into verse 2. However, this verse is actually used by people to say that you are not to talk back to your pastor, which, you shouldn't do that. But if they're teaching heresy and they're teaching false doctrine, you should correct them. Now, obviously, you should do it lovingly, regardless of their age, but that's not what the verse is saying. But people say, you see, it says, rebuke not an elder. You need to submit to your pastor. You need to, sit under your pastor. You need to do whatever your pastor tells you to do. Well, the Bible's pretty clear that we ought to obey God rather than men. The Bible does talk about authority in the church. So I'm not acting like there's no such thing as authority in the church. I'm simply trying to expound what the word elder means in the Bible and to clarify what that leadership should look like. Not that there should be no leadership, but that leadership has a lot more criteria than that which is taught. So it says, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren." So it's clearly talking about age. It says, rebuke not an elder, an older person, which is what elder means, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. And if that's not good enough for you, the next verse says the elder women as mothers. So if the word elder in the first verse is referring to a bishop or a pastor specifically, then you also have to admit that in the second verse, when it says elder women, that it's talking about a woman who is running, leading, and teaching in the church. But that's obviously not the case, because the Bible is pretty clear about that. 1 Timothy 2 and in Revelation, I believe it's chapter 2 or 3. I think it's 2. But it's pretty clear that that's not what it's talking about. So it must be talking about age. It says the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters with all purity. So when it talks about it there, it's clearly talking about age, yet that is used by many pastors to get people to submit to them without ever questioning them. Now, you should respect the authority in your church, and if you're part of a ministry that is being run by a single man, I'm not telling you that you need to go in there and try to change everything. You should be a blessing to that ministry and, just pray that they get more biblical, but it's not like you need to go in there and try to, change everything, especially people that are raised on tradition. They don't want to hear this kind of stuff. Even though it is from the Bible and it's easily proven. So Genesis chapter 25, verse 23 says, "And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger." So yet again, that's clearly talking about age, elder versus younger. Elder means older. So there's 2 definitions of the word elder in the Bible. When it's being used as an adjective, it's describing somebody's age. When it's being used as a noun, it's specifically referring to an older person. There's not one time in the Bible where the word elder is used and that it is not in reference to somebody's age. And those of you who disagree with that, I'm sure immediately Titus 1:5 came to your mind, but I'm going to touch on that here in a second. Genesis 27, verse 42, it says, "And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son." So again, we see elder and younger being used together, and we see the elder is in reference to age. Job 15, it says, "With us are both the gray-headed and very aged men, much elder than thy father." So what does that mean? That's the adjective form of the word elder, much older. Elder, older. It's the same word. It's the same thing being said. Job 32, verse 4. "Now Elihu had waited till Job had spoken because they," Job and his friends, "were elder than he. He was younger than they were. They were elder than he. They were older than he was." Ezekiel 16, it says, "And thine elder sister is Samaria, she and her daughters that dwell at thy left hand, and thy younger sister that dwelleth at thy right hand is Sodom and her daughters." So again, elder versus younger. It's the contrast and comparison between those two words that proves to us that the word elder means older. Ezekiel 16, later on, verse 61, it says, "Then thou shalt remember thy ways and be ashamed when thou shalt receive thy sisters, thine elder and thy younger." Again, it's getting repetitive. So Titus 1:5 says, "For this cause left I thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city, as I had appointed thee." So what we see here is elders being ordained. Now, that statement is believed by people to mean that elder is the position and the title, and people are being ordained, and then they become an elder. But I'm arguing, and I'm telling you what I believe to be, the understanding of this verse, which is they were already elders that were being ordained to the position of a bishop or a deacon. So when it says, "and ordain elders in every city," it's akin to, what do you toast? Do you toast or do you toast bread? Well, you toast bread, right? And the bread is the elder, and the toast is a bishop. So you ordain the bread to become toast by putting it in a toaster or broiling it, or however you're going to make toast. So the elder, the aged person, is ordained, and then they take up that office because they have been appointed or ordained to that position. But my point is that they're already elder. They're already an aged person that is appointed to that position. So the elders are being ordained, but you're not ordaining somebody to be an elder. Okay. 1 Peter 5, and this is where I'm going to end this. I want to keep these under 10 minutes. 1 Peter 5, verses 1 through 5, it says, "The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder, and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed." So we see here in verse 1 that he uses the word elders and elder. He says, "The elders which are among you," which again, more than one elder, okay, "which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder." So Peter says, I'm an elder. Now people that use this the same way they use 1 Timothy 5 to say, see, Peter was a pastor, Peter was a bishop. Well, Peter very well could have been both of those things, and I do believe that he was. However, that's not what he's saying in this specific statement. He is talking about his age, and the last statement that he makes in verse 1 proves it. Because this is probably being written, a couple decades after the Passion of Christ. And he says, who am also an elder and a witness, meaning that he saw the sufferings of Christ. So what is he saying? To whoever he's writing this to, the church was at Babylon, which I'm pretty sure is Jerusalem in this statement. But anyway, he is talking about how, his age, and then he's like saying, yeah, I actually saw what happened to Christ. So I think that that's a strong indicator. Verse 2, it says, feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. Now, if you believe that verse 1, when he says elder, that he's talking about age, that a lot of people are going to have a problem with that, because there's a lot of pastors or bishops, is what the Bible calls them, out there, that are like under 30 years old. They're under 40 years old. They're under 35 years old. They started their ministries when they were like in their 20s. So, of course, they're going to, automatically try and twist the Bible to, not go against them and their ministry. And I don't think that these people should step down. I do believe that they should try and get their ministry to a point where it lines up with Scripture. But do I believe that that's going to happen? No, because tradition won't allow such a thing. Anyway, feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. Okay, something to note there. It says, as being lords, which means do not try to run God's church, as though you have like, ultimate authority over them. And it says lords, plural. So that's something to note as well. It says being examples to the flock. And it says, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Likewise, verse 5, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. So does the word elder in verse 5 mean something completely different than it meant in verse 1? No, it means the same thing that it's meant throughout the entire Bible, which is an older person or older. That's what it means. Here it's in the noun form. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. So, that's that. The word elder in the Bible always means aged person or older. It's always in reference to age, and there is absolutely no exceptions. So that's it for elder moment number 1, and I will see you in the next video. God bless.